Morning all of you. Welcome back to our course Big Data Analytics and Business Intelligence. So in last lecture we discussed about what is the difference between R language and Python language. As we know that R and Python, these are mostly used language in case of data science. So in today's lecture we are going to discuss about introduction to R. So before starting this particular topic, we should know why do we require R. Okay, so reason is very simple. The reason is that R is required mostly for data analytics. So what do you mean by data analytics? That first of all we understand. Now I am just showing you this particular data. I can consider that this is a data, and I will ask a simple question to you, that what is your understanding about this particular data. So in that case I may get a different answer from different students, or you can say different person. So somebody say that sir it's a sequence of character, somebody will say that I think that it's a structure of gene, structure of DNA, somebody said that it's a protein structure, it's a protein sequence. So n number of answers that we can derive. So that is what analytics and what data analytics. Analyzing a data. Analyzing means what? It's a process of inspecting or examining a data in order to recover or discover a hidden pattern. In order to discover a hidden pattern from huge amount of data, you require a data analytics. So data analytics is a process of discovering a hidden pattern. So we already know that in our day-to-day life, huge amount of data is being generated, and one of the biggest source of data generation is a social networking. Suppose we consider example of a Facebook. So every day we know that a huge amount of data is being generated by the Facebook. So Facebook can analyze the data, Facebook can uncover some pattern, Facebook can discover some pattern, such as what is a group of person or what is the age group that will like particular post, what is a particular comment that is coming from which particular site. Now in Facebook, market story is also available to which particular product most people like this. So n number of pattern that Facebook may discover from a huge amount of data, because in case of a Facebook we are posting comment, we are posting our photos, we are posting videos. So what are the videos which is most like video, what is the region of people that we like a particular video most. So n number of pattern that Facebook may derive from that huge kind of data. So this is possible for any kind of huge data, and just extracting a pattern is very important for any organization to get grow. That's why I told you that in now today's world we can say that data is very important. And somebody asked me, suppose I will give 1 lakh rupees or I will provide you 1 lakh record of a data. So I will choose 1 lakh record. Why? Because by using that data easily I can earn. And this social networking site, what they are using, what they are doing, they are using or utilizing that particular data to improve their business. So this is what a data analytics, inspecting or examining a huge amount of data to uncover some hidden pattern which is available in that particular data. Now second thing is why data analytics. So very first thing that you need to understand, cost reduction. Data analytics help us for reducing the cost in most of the organization just by study. It's only is because of the study that Facebook may we can take any another example. For particular manufacturing industry is there, so in that case they have adopted some marketing policy. So in that case they will analyze the thing which marketing strategy gives them a very good result. Suppose they launch a particular campaign for marketing, and they analyze the previous 6 months data. So in that case they come to know that this particular marketing strategy is not going to work, so definitely they are going to change. So it ultimately helps to reduce the cost. How many employees are required? Do we really need that many number of employees, or we can automate our work, or we need to increase the employee, or we need to just improve the skill set? What is the future skill set that we required? Means suppose company know that this particular project I am going to get in future. So and in order to accomplish or in order to complete this project I require this particular scheme, so that I will hire. So ultimately what will happen, it helps to reduce the cost. Or another, what is another option, instead of hiring new employee, what I will do, I will ask my employee to improve the skill, to get explore that particular language, to explore this particular platform which is required to accomplish a particular project. So ultimately it helps me to reduce the cost, because instead of this, what happen, suppose I'm going to hire a new employee, so in that case I need to offer more package to that. So instead of this, what I will do, I will ask my existing employee to upgrade themselves to acquire that skill which is required for this future project. So it will be helpful to that employee also, and it will be helpful to me also. So in this way we can say that data analytics can also help in a cost reduction. Then it also help you for new products and services. What are the new feature that should be there in my particular product. Nowadays you know that in suppose we consider example of mobile industry, so there are a number of companies are there. Oppo is there, Vivo is there, Realme is there, Nokia is there, Samsung is there. So suppose they want to launch a new handset in the market, so they need to do a survey, they need to perform some kind of analysis, what are the new features that should be there in that particular product, so that most people or most of the person will get attracted towards that, because every way we want some new things. So in that case they need to pay attention what is the most important feature of a handset, whether people more looking for battery backup, they are looking for camera quality, they are looking for processing power, they are looking for what we can say size of that screen of that particular handset. So a number of things are there, a number of features are there, so that you come to know by analyzing the data. Okay, analyzing a survey, suppose you will carry out a survey, so from that survey you will take a opinion what are the feature expected by a particular person in particular handset. So from that survey you just analyze the data, and you will come to know that people are more preferring towards the more features such as the screen size, they want a good quality of camera. So in that way it helps business. And very important thing is what, data analytics, it help in decision making. See, decision making is very important in for any organization. Suppose you take a right decision at the right time, it ultimately helps you to improve your business. And in order to take a decision, what you required some kind of information, and who is going to provide that information? Data analytics, because it helps us to extract some hidden pattern, and that pattern I can use in order to take a decision making. So I can say that the main use of data analytics is decision making. Okay, so I hope you understand what is data analytics, why data analytics, and why we are discussing this two topic, because our language is mostly used for data analytics purpose. Okay, R is a language that is used for data analytics purpose. That's why we understand what is data analytics, how data analytics will help us to improve our business. So now next thing is, what are the tools available for data analytics? In this particular lecture we are focusing on R language, but before that we should know what are the other choices are available with us for data analytics. So we can use MS Excel. We already know that Excel is having a huge functionality. It can offer very much feature that can be used for analysis purpose. Then SQL is a language which help us to extract some pattern. Then R language that we are going to discuss in this particular lecture. Then SAS is there, Tableau is there. So next one is SAS is there. SAS is another tool, or you can say language that we can use for data analytics purpose. Then Tableau is there, that is also used for data analytics. So these are the basic data analytics tools that we can use. Also we have advanced data analytics tools such as Sparse is there, MATLAB is there, Python is there, Hadoop is there, Spark is there, Hive is there. So a number of tools are available in the market for data analytics, but in this particular lecture we are focusing on R language. So first of all we'll understand what is R. R is one of the programming language, or you can say environment used for statistical computing and graphics. So R is mostly used for data analysis purpose. So it's open source in nature, and it was supported by R Foundation for statistical computing. Suppose we talk about history of R, then we can say that it was developed by two gentlemen. One is a Ross Ihaka and Robert Gentleman. These are two persons who developed this R in the University of Auckland in the year of 1993. and they have given this name R. How that name was given to that language R? Because if you see here, it was developed by two person, and both person names starting from R. That's why they have given the name of this particular language as a R in the year of 1993, and it was developed at the University of Auckland. And this language is somehow similar to the language of S. Okay, previously we have also S language, and after predecessor that R language was there. This is the old statistics that I can say. As of August 2018, R ranks 18 in the TOB index. It is one of the survey that is carried out in the year of August 2018. So it is according to that survey, R rank 18, and it's a measure of popularity of a programming language. Then we discuss why do we need to learn R. So as I told you that R language was invented by these two person, and basically this two person was a statistician. So that's why I can say that R is a language which supports statistics. Okay, because if we already discussed in the last lecture that R was developed by a statistician and Python was developed by the developer. So as R is developed by statistician, so it is more suitable for statistics purpose. So R is a open source language. You don't have to pay anything to use this particular language. Then it's a cross platform compatible. It can be used with Windows, Linux or Mac platform. Then it has an advanced statistical language. It has many packages available, many functions are available that is used for statistical purpose. Then outstanding graph, by using R language you can visualize your data in the proper manner by using different kinds of graphs. Then it is flexible in nature, extremely comprehensive. It supports for extension. That means suppose you want to add your own package, that is also possible. You can just develop your package, submit it to our community, they will verify it and they will add this. So a number of packages is being added by the people. As what is the meaning of open source? Anybody can contribute. As it's a open source in nature, anybody can contribute this R. So in that sense I can say that it supports for extension. You can develop your own package and you can add it to this R. Then it has a very good community support because it's one of the popular language after Python. So it also has a very good support available. Community support is available globally. Then it's related to other languages. It is also because R is one of the programming language. So these are the various reasons why you should learn R. Then suppose we discuss what are the features of R. R is one of the interpreted language. It's not a compiled language. It means explicitly you are not going to compile your program. It's interpreted language. R is a highly extensible. Just by it provides a facility to add user submitted package. Huge support for statistical analysis and graphical representation. R has a stronger object oriented programming facilities than other statistical computing languages. Then R has a vibrant and we can say local community worldwide. R has a effective data handling and storage facility. Also it provides a suite of operators for calculations such as array, list, vector, matrices that we are going to discuss in detail in next lecture. And then finally I can say that R is a case sensitive. Okay, we have seen that SQL is not a case sensitive, but R is a case sensitive language. Now the next is what are the applications of R. So what are the applications of R? R language can be used in case of banking industry for the sake of analysis purpose. How many customers are there, or what is a particular scheme that, or what is a particular product of that banking that is accepted by most of the people in the society. Then it can also be used in the finance to analyze their products, analyze their scheme. In case of e-commerce, analysis is very important. We have already discussed about the examples of Facebook. It can be used by various e-commerce platforms such as Amazon is there, Flipkart is there, to improve their business, what is the like and dislike of a people, and so on. Then social media, just like Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn. In case of a healthcare, particular hospital can also use R in order to understand the popularity of their hospital, what are the feature on which they need to focus on. So these many things are there in a number of domains. This R can be used. Now next thing is basic steps for installation. Suppose you intend to use suppose you are the beginner and you need to start with R. So very first thing, you need to understand what are the basic steps that you need to undergo for installation. So here I discuss installation of R with respect to Ubuntu platform and Windows platform. Suppose you want to install your R in Windows platform or Ubuntu platform, you require two things. One is a RBase and second one is a RStudio. RBase is a compulsory thing. It's a base software for R language, but RStudio is a IDE. Suppose you are familiar with the Python. In case of Python, we are using Jupyter, but we have if you talk about distribution, Anaconda is a distribution, PyCharm is a IDE. Similarly, in case of R, very popular IDE is available, that is RStudio. So that is optional one. Suppose you install only RBase, then you can also use R, but it provides a command line user interface. Suppose you want a GUI, proper GUI, then you should install RStudio. So in order to use R either in Windows or Linux, you require these two things. One is a RBase and second one is a RStudio. RBase is a command line interface and RStudio will provide you a graphical user interface. So installation of this in Windows is very simple. You need to only install RBase and RStudio, and by clicking on next, you just install it. But some of the procedure in case of Ubuntu, you require some command. So in order to install RBase on Ubuntu platform, you may use this command sudo apt get update. First of all, you need to update your system, then sudo apt get installed RBase and RBase development. So by following these three commands, you can easily install RBase in your Ubuntu environment. Then in case of suppose you want to install RStudio in Ubuntu, you need to follow this command sudo apt get install gdbi core. Then you need to download this version, whatever the latest version that is available, that you can provide over here. And then so these are the four commands which you can use to install RStudio IDE, especially on Ubuntu platform. Now I just show you the interface of RStudio. Basically RStudio provides four different sections. Okay, its interface is same though you use it in a Ubuntu environment, or you can use it in a Windows environment, or you can use it in a Mac environment. So it provides total four sections. This is what the editor, where you can write your command. This is a you can say console or terminal, where you will get your output. Suppose here I write a particular command and execute it, I will get a output in this particular console or terminal. Then this is a environment history section, where you can see what are the values of a variable, what is the history, what is a value stored in the particular variable. And then this one is a help section. Here you can see what are the packages available. Here you can see what are the plots available. Help, suppose you don't know about a particular command, you just type this command name, so you will get the what we can say description. So suppose this is what get or set working directory. So get working directory, this is a command. So this is a help section where you will get a description about a particular command. So I hope you understand why you need to use R, how R help for statistical analysis purpose. Suppose you want to use R, what are the software required and what are the installation steps. So here we'll stop. In the next lecture we are going to discuss more things about R, such as how to declare a variable, what are the data types supported by R, what are the R objects are there, what are the operators provided by R. So all these things we are going to discuss in next lecture. Thank you.